If you want to know what's going on this week coming up and a recap of what happened last week, we're going to be going through this and why everybody's feeling so crazy. I mean, it has been crazy. It's been crazier than I've ever seen. People are changing all over the place. And we're going to be talking about why that is, why you've had those feelings that are in your body, those feelings that you're trying to resolve. As you come in, do me a favor, write down there in the comments, put down, if you know your rising, your sun, your rising, your sun, your moon, and your rising. Hello, Anne. Yes, things have been crazy. And can you do me a favor, please? Go over here. Good to see you guys all. Yes, good to be back. And you notice our censorship numbers are off. So please do me a favor. Give me a bunch of likes right here. And if you could send this off to somebody that you know. What's the best vagus nerve release? Yes, best vagus nerve release. Just type in human garage vagus nerve release. You do it with me. We'll wait for Chris. So take your left hand, put it on your right shoulder, right down the trap, push it down and push it away. Take your right hand, put it on your jaw, push it aside, squat and turn to your right. Look up and breathe 6 times. That's the best vagus nerve release. Scorpio sun. Virgo moon and rising. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Gemini. Pisces, Sagittarius, Aries. Well. Hi, Monica, over in the UK. So just waiting for Christopher Witecki, Sensei to search up. Hey, Scott, good to see you. Happy New Year, everybody. Hey, also, how have you been feeling this last week? Put it in the comments as well. Capricorn, Aries sun, Aquarius moon, Cancer rising. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I'm seeing a trend here. Seeing lots of Pisces and Scorpio and Capricorn. Scorpio, Leo. See what I tell you. It's here. Hey, how's it going? It's good to be back. Yes, things are changing. I'm feeling fantastic. Wait till you guys see the the video coming out about me having my tooth removed without any anesthesia. Cynthia's trying to remove it, and I'm like, you're on the wrong tooth. Hello, greetings from Cancun, Mexico. Yes, my solar return has progressed. My 27 Sag rising to 22 Leo. Yeah, awesome. Low energy today. Where is Christopher Witecki? Cynthia, did I call Chris? Yeah, no anesthesia. You know what's crazy about the experience of no anesthesia? Wait till you see it. It was funny because Aisha was the only one physically there from our crew. Didn't have the camera crew there, but should have. And she had to leave the room several times. And she didn't get the best parts, but once the natural pain cycle of the body had shot up, it was amazing because after that, it was only just the annoyance of digging in there to try and dig the root out. And then she's stitching it up. She's going, sorry, with no anesthesia. I'm like, sorry, it feels good. Yes. We were trying to decide whether we'd get one of those dangerous things for putting up the videos. But hey, kids pull their teeth out. They tie it to a string. I don't see why I can't. It's so good to see everybody. Wow, names are back and you're getting notified. Woo! Powerful. So yeah, put down in the comments how you've been feeling this week. And were you yesterday and the day before, were you feeling a little intense? Did you do breath work first? No, I didn't do breath work. I just sat down. Yeah, breath work is like, okay, go. It was more fear. It was more fear about the intensity of it. Because once you got the first one out, I'm like, oh, I was sweating in my ear, but I'm like, that wasn't that bad. Yes, it was intense. There's no doubt about it. Stomach issues. Gemini, Virgo, Sag. Is that why my tattoo tickled? I'm not sure. Oh, there's Christopher. Got him. Yes, had to sit with the intensity. Again, I'm going to publish the video, see what happens. Hope you don't take it down. It was pretty intense. Chris.
Hello.
I was telling the story of me getting the tooth removed without any anesthesia, and
So, sorry about that. I mean, Instagram doesn't like me. I don't know why. Instagram doesn't like me. But and your staff's coming in, and so anyway, sorry folks, I didn't mean to be late. How is everyone? How you
I
doing
think
today, brother?
I think everybody's super active right now, and
Yeah.
we our numbers are back here. You see that we're at
Oh yeah,
250.
that's great.
So everybody, do us a favor. Go down here. Let's pump this up. Hit that little arrow on the side. Send it out to 5 people. Just click their names. Give us a bunch of lights down there in the bottom right hand corner, and put in there your if you're brand new joining. Put in your sun, your moon, and your rising.
Hmm.
You had your
Indeed.
more extracted right before New Year. Somebody else did too. Yeah, I had mine done on what day was it? It was I had mine done on the 27th, I think it was. So I was telling the story of having a molar extracted without any
Oh,
anesthesia, and
that
I thought
sounds
it was
horrible.
no, actually, you know what's funny? It was horrible for a minute because that
Okay.
pain spikes in the body. But then after that, your natural painkillers are infinitely better than freezing. Because when you get, if you've ever had dental surgery, you feel like kind of for days, you kind of feel like
Mm.
you're groggy the next day. You kind of feel funny. You don't sleep right. You got pain in your jaw. Zero pain right afterwards. Zero.
Mm. That's wonderful. I'm glad you got through it. What brought
Yeah,
up
I got a
that?
video of it too. I got a video. It's pretty intense.
Oh, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch
It
it.
started off with Cynthia trying to pull it with us instead of pliers.
Oh no. Oh God. Jeez.
Yeah, and then we got off the top, but the roots broke off.
Oh wow. God, this is horrible. I'm sitting here squirming in my chair.
No, it's one of the best experiences for me because that's the most pain that you could go through in dental, and to do it without any anesthesia, and then to have the absolutely unbelievable results afterwards with no infection, and I don't use antibiotics either, so
Mm,
no antibiotics, no infection, nothing. But she was what she does is she takes her blood out, spins it, and then puts it back in with a little bit of organic tissue to help the body heal faster.
yeah.
And so I'm going to interview her tomorrow, but she goes, I've never had this experience before because when I spun your blood, it usually comes up with like cholesterol and like a yellowy substance on there that you have to separate from the white matter. She
Mm-hmm.
says it's the first time ever in her career. It was all when it was spun, it was all white, pure.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Miracle tooth. Yeah.
Oh, miracle blood, miracle body.
Right. Yeah, totally. Actually, yeah, absolutely. In tune. So how are you, buddy? It's been like 3 weeks since I saw you on camera.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. It's been an intense 3 weeks. I've, like in the last 3 weeks, I had the opportunity to go to Chicago, go to London. I was also in the Philippines. It's been really, really cool. You know what I can say generally? I can say people out there are probably more freaked out, scared, and don't know what to do than because I was really with people physically. And I could see
Mm,
that people are very disconnected from their bodies and also disconnected from what their next steps are.
mm, mm. And that was in the Midwest, Chicago, my hometown.
Yeah, Chicago, your hometown. Chicago is the worst actually that I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah, I know I can vouch for that, you know. I don't know why. I guess it's because the cold, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's like uh a lot of bad cheap food, just to stay comfortable, a lot of, comfort foods. I think, iceberg lettuce in the restaurants, like for whatever reason, it just Chicago has not taken up like the California health craze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it's been a little intense even the last couple of days.
Yes.
And there's been comings and goings of people, and there's
Mm-hmm.
been I've even had my own intensity, which we talked about, which was feeling into something. And I know that's part of my own story in that, but I can say actively that I wasn't the only one feeling it. So what's been going on the last couple of days?
Well, God Universe is asking us to get our shift together. We're in the midst of Capricorn right now. And last week, when you weren't here, we had a new moon at step 9. which and there's a many step nine. Step nine will be the new moon step number until Aries nine. That'll be the final nine of the
Wow,
nines.
all the way to Aries.
Yes, six in a row, six nines,
I remember when you
six
were
9 degree new
talking about
moons.
all the moons that were in step. It was, I think it was 20 at some point. There was,
Yes, I
and you were
mean
like,
we see, yeah. And because of
and
the
so that
orbits, we
means
see this, but it's you get this repeating pattern quite often. But it's interesting the number that it does now because this year, I don't know if you know, is a net 9 year.
right.
And so in the net 9 year, we had 6 9 moons. And then, of course, we have Saturn going the sign of nine and Neptune going the sign of nine this year as well. So
Is
it's
that
a
why
lot of nine.
this year is the volatile year? It's the year where we have the war energy and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yes, I'm calling it a race, not a war.
Yeah,
Just rebranding
yeah,
that. But yes, it's the intensity. I mean, you could say that it's like a pimple that's ready to pop. I mean, people have been brewing and finding their strength. Chiron in Aries has been helping people overcome their ego issues, overcome their issues of strength. And so there's going to be this huge nine energy, which started on January 1st, really kind of pushing us to get moving on certain things. Now, the paradox of this is that Mars is retrograde. Mars is the ruler of nine.
right,
So Mars is actually pointing more towards six right now than nine. So it's sort of like we have we're being pushed without our normal energy or our normal ego position. So we're basically being forced to do things different ways. I mean, that's the best way to look at it. Because the old way of doing it, you just don't have it in you. You just don't feel like doing it. You just don't have the motivation or the energy, or the pieces aren't coming together for you to do it the way you want to do it. And Capricorn is all about getting your shift together, like organizing things, making decisions, and making commitments. So I think a lot of the weird energy is that we're being told to get moving. We don't have the energy, and Capricorn judgment energy is on our shoulders saying, hey, you got to get this stuff in order.
So my moon is 14 degrees Capricorn, and two
Ah,
days ago was pretty intense for me. That would most likely explain why, right?
my solar eclipse is 14 degrees Capricorn. My solar eclipse conjuncts your moon. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know if you know that, but yeah, so you feel so you feel me. No, I feel you. No, you feel me, and my heart understands you in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 14 is interesting because there's a lot of 14 energy actually. 14, we had Saturn at 14, we had Jupiter at 14. What 14 is the energy of taking your mental mindset to another level.
right.
So it's based on what your heart, step one, belongs with, what your heart belongs with, right?
Yeah.
And then what your heart belongs with is the way you ought to think, right? That's the five, the way you ought to think. But the problem is people think a certain way and never really ask the heart where it belongs, right? So we're operating on these false narratives in our mind. And so what happened in the last week is we had Saturn square Jupiter at 14 degrees and the sun go to Capricorn at 14 degrees. So it was a 14 party.
Yeah, and that's of course Cynthia. It's her sun and her Chiron.
14. Yep.
Yeah,
Totally.
14 Pisces, sun and Chiron, scared of herself.
Yeah. In essence, what this means is, we're coming out of our shell. 2024 was about facing your shadow. That's how I really looked at it. I mean, that's how I'm summarizing it. Shadow being the stuff you don't want to look at, the stuff you're afraid of, the stuff you don't talk about in the family, all that stuff. We faced it. We faced it, and mostly it's about facing it. There's no solving it. It's always there. It's that you respond to it in a different way. Now that we have gone with Mars retrograde, our ego, which used to was the part of us that tried to swim around it, under it, over it, avoid it, right? That now is being deprogrammed to no longer be chasing after those things. And as we're here in Capricorn, we're trying to make plans for our future and commitments for our future. But the maybe struggle of it is that it's going to be in a way you've never done it before. And with the 14 net fives, your mind is programmed still to the old. You got to bring the mind up to the new operating system.
Right. So, what I mean in Capricorn, typically, like when I've been laid out, it's been in Capricorn usually. That's the time that it takes me out, and I would imagine that's because it's emotions, and for a lot of my life, I was ignoring my emotions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So. So we have coming up this week, we're
Right.
interesting. I mean, because we're in Libra right now until for another 5 hours or something like that. And then we go into spacey Pisces.
Uh, we're in Aquarius, you mean?
No,
Aquarius.
no, I mean, we're in Libra right now. We're like 16, or we're like 15
Oh,
degrees.
six.
Yeah.
You said step 16. I'm sorry, you're talking about the steps. Yeah, we're in step 16. Tonight we'll go to step 17. Step 17 is the Grandmaster step of Capricorn. So, um, basically, what this week is about, what I coined this week is we're making a very special commitment. And that special commitment is in the next 24 hours. It's step 17. Why step 17? Because it adds to an 8, and Capricorn is the sign of 8, right? So, what happens on a Grandmaster Day, 17, tomorrow, this 24-hour period, the approach you take to make a decision is going to actually serve as your guideline for every 17 in every sign. So you set a precedent on a Grandmaster Day. And so in the next 24 hours, you're not just making decisions for your life, you're setting a precedent for the future. Now, what's really interesting about that is 17 is the purest form of a decision, the purest, I think, because it involves your heart, step 1, and your soul, step 7. So if you make a decision from your heart and soul, notice I didn't say mind or feelings or ego, heart and soul, that's a pure decision. Now, most of us don't make decisions from our heart and soul. Most of us make decisions based on evidence, the knowledge we know, these types of things. But I feel like people who are watching the show and people are starting to waken up, they are aware now of their soul. In the last year, they had to face their shadow. They're aware of their heart. It may not be happy with what everything is. And so I think this is going to be maybe the first year in our lifetime that we're more likely to make a heart and soul decision. And I think that might be the precedent that we're setting. The other thing to talk about is that we don't have Pluto in Capricorn. For the
Right.
last for the 15 years, we've had Pluto in Capricorn, which is, I don't know, if you're an empath, you can recognize Pluto's energy. It's kind of dark. It's kind of, like something bad's right over our shoulder kind of thing, right? And so we've been sort of making decisions for 15 years with sort of a shadow over our shoulder, like kind of waiting for the shoe to drop. That has been removed this year. So again, people are free to make decisions that they never made before. And so what I'm predicting and I'm saying to our subscribers is that most likely the decision you make in the next 24 hours could be quite profound, like in the sense that you would have never thought 5 years ago you make this decision. You would have never seen yourself in that predicament or never had the courage to go for something that you want or commit to something that you want. So,
So
yeah.
it's interesting because I'm just connecting the dots right now. Like, I was supposed to have somebody come here, somebody from NBC come here, as I talked about. I had a Gemini, strong Gemini, trying to get asking me to come to Tulum. Then I was supposed to go meet somebody from a Virgo that's from the hotel that we're working with. And I'm like, oh man, but I can't do that and get back on time for Wednesday. And
Mhm.
then the guy who's coming on Wednesday, Aries, called me up and said, oh, I can't come on Wednesday. I got to come on Thursday now. And then I had a Cancer call me and say, hey, can you come to Tulum to meet this other person? And now I'm going in my head, oh, there was some clearing there. That means that regardless of the people, that means I'm supposed to be there.
uh, Interesting. Yeah, I am finding that the universe is forcing hands right now. Um, I mean, I've been really paying attention to what shows up, what doesn't show up, what promises to, and then what doesn't follow through. There's a lot of faded stuff. Mars retrograde. When Mars is the pushing element of consciousness. Let's push, right? And so Mars is not pushing. It's turned back and it's drifting backwards, right? And when it drifts backwards, it means a couple of things. A, things can now fall into the path that was before affected by the wake of your push. So like things that you were pushing out of your life, things that you were pushing away, like love or opportunity, that push is gone, right? The other aspect is Mars just moved into Cancer last night, this morning at
Oh,
29 degrees, which
oh,
in essence
oh,
is Mars
oh.
at 29 Cancer. That is the definition of a temper tantrum. I mean, it is a hurricane of kind of emotional energy. I felt it come in last night. It was just this. In fact, I'm still feeling it today,
You
to be
know,
honest.
we myself, Cynthia, Jason, Laura, none of us could go to sleep last night.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too. I barely slept myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally. Yeah. There was just this. Yeah, it must have been Mars in Cancer. That 29 Cancer is helter skelter energy, emotions around destruction, emotions around collapse, emotions around being able to pull it off. You know, the impossible, feeling
yeah,
the impossible.
that's what I was
And
feeling.
don't forget, yeah, Cancer is the opposite of Capricorn. And so, you know, Capricorn's like, oh, we got this, we've got a plan. But Cancer's like, but they'll never do this, or this is that, you know. So they kind of undo each other, is what it is. But I think this is what God Universe is doing, like pulling apart these decisions, you know, these decisions we had made in the past to maybe avoid emotion, like you said, you know, and now maybe you have the feelings, you can make better decisions. So it's sort of like we're getting blood flow back into this area of our lives.
Okay, now I'm putting the pieces together. There's a Virgo, there's a Grandmaster Cancer, there's a Grandmaster Aries, and then some other person I don't know that's pulling me to this one place at this one time tomorrow. Yeah,
Wow. Well, yeah, follow the
yeah,
signs. I mean, I'll tell you this. I'm here in Palm Springs and, you know, grocery shopping, whatever. I'm meeting so many interesting people, really compelling people just out of nowhere. They're just popping into my life.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think we're all sort of being introduced to that new tribe,
yeah,
frankly, a new
yeah.
tribe.
Absolutely. It's like they're coming up in droves. And you know me, I know that every Uber driver, everybody sits next to me on a plane, everybody who serves at a table. I know the astrology of every single person that I lock eyes with that I can talk to. And it's been interesting because I can start to see the patterns
Oh, yeah.
and map them.
The patterns
So
that you attract.
yeah, the pattern. Yeah, exactly. The patterns I
Right,
attract. So,
right.
so how does that lead into? Okay, so that's tomorrow, Wednesday. Now we're going to Thursday.
No, no, no.
Thursday.
Tomorrow. So Tuesday is
Yeah,
tomorrow. A space time. Capricorn rules time, so you're definitely in the vortex, brother. Um, Tomorrow we make the decision. Like tonight, you start chewing on it. Tomorrow you make it. Wednesday is 18. You act on it. Okay, you put it into motion and you act on it. And on Wednesday, hump day, I always find, by the way, Wednesday is the hump. Always, it's so
yeah,
funny. Astrologically, it's always the hump. It's so funny. But the sun will square Chiron on Wednesday night. The significance of that is the sun is saying, hey, the sun is the heart. So it's like, hey, we're going to make new plans. We're going to make new decisions. We're going to get our stuff together. Let's get our business together. You know, let's get everything together. Chiron is basically the memory of like, remember the time you thought you had it together and you failed?
yeah.
Okay. And so this pressure of the time I failed and the time I don't want to fail, we have to reconcile between these two on Wednesday. So Wednesday's sort of a hump where you have to, in your heart, be more determined for what you want to do and not allow your awareness to shift to what went wrong in the past or what could go wrong in the future.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
And then we go to step 19 on Thursday. And step 19 on Thursday, you know, the moon is in Taurus this whole time. So basically, while we have 17, 18, and 19, the moon in Taurus is manifesting this as so. So you want to be conscious of your feelings on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Don't let them go sour or south, you know, south, because it will add into the creation of what you're doing. When the moon's in Taurus, we are setting basically the not the foundation, but the you know what's you know like what are the timbers in the house, you know, like the
yeah,
framework. We set the framework of what we're manifesting with the moon in Taurus. And so Thursday at 19, that's a Taurus degree, that's to a 10, but 19 is also the same number as where Chiron is at 19, which means that right now society is facing the line between proficient and mastery, and everyone's wants to go higher, but not but everyone's afraid based on past life and whatnot that they can or can't. So my point is, Thursday, you really have to just walk yourself through that rite of passage. You just got to stay focused on your goal. 19 means to respond to your heart, love your heart, tell your heart you got this. You know, be your own coach. And then we go to on Friday 20, where then this shift starts getting real. You start to feel all the changes. You start to feel yourself not in the old world and not in the new world yet either, this in-between stage. There's a vulnerability too, because you've just expanded to the third decan or to the master level. and so you're bigger, you're wider, you're it feels like it could get out of control, so ultimately, once we make the decision and jump on Tuesday, we're holding on to the rails until Saturday.
And this is all in that energy we've been talking about that comes up to, for a while, that comes up to the January 19th inauguration day.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't even thought about it, to be honest. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, if we go back, we're in that energy where everybody's either accelerating up or accelerating down, and that goes till January 19th. And what is that again? It's Capricorn. It's
Aquarius.
Aquarius and Capricorn, right?
Yeah, Capricorn moves to
Yeah.
Aquarius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed, I mean, there's a fundamental thing in Canada. Justin Trudeau, he's such a nice loser. No,
Oh
I'm
yeah, it's a
really kidding.
wonderful.
He
Isn't it?
resigned
He
today. Yeah,
did? Oh my gosh. Justin Castro resigned?
Justin Castro resigned. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That's wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Because
Wow. Wow. That's
otherwise,
amazing.
Canada was going to be Cananuba or Cuba. We are going to be a
Right.
second version of Cuba pretty soon. I mean,
Huh.
it's intense up there right now. If you make less than $144,000 a year, they're giving you subsidies because you can't afford to live.
Wow. Yeah, Canada, the whole world went upside down, with the COVID policies and whatnot.
Yeah,
Although I would say that's absolutely perfectly appropriate that he would resign in a Capricorn is kind of the energy of resigning,
yeah. But I
you know.
didn't get it. I didn't. You know what? It's funny because it's today. So it's. I guess it's still Libra. It's still to bring balance. I guess it's to restore balance. I guess that makes sense.
Um, well, justice. Libra is justice.
Yeah. You know what's funny too is that they had a talk with Jordan Peterson and the uh, forget his name. Anyways, the conservative guy coming in, they had a talk with him, and in 48 hours, the video had 43 million views, and I mean that's more than the population of Canada. So obviously, the rest of the world's looking and saying, "What is this craziness here?"
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. The world is watching. I guess we're great drama,
Yeah, and,
like,
and and I'm gonna put it out there right now. You can quote me on this, but between March and April, Canada will be announced as a 51st state. I'm pretty
as a
sure.
what?
51st state.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
That's a bold
Hey,
prediction, man.
it's okay. You can say I'm wrong, but it's going to happen in 2025. If it's not, I think it's going to happen by April because if you look at what's going on in the world politically, right? You've got BRICS, you've got China and Russia and India. We've got all these superpowers. Well, what does the United States need to make that happen? Well, they need resources. Canada is being starved out right now, and Canada's military just announced yesterday that they don't have enough money to fund themselves next year. So that means the military can't fund themselves. They can't fund their border. They can't protect themselves. You can't have a country, an active country, without a military. And that plus we're being like starved out. Food is 2.5 times what it was 3 years ago.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I do predict some fluctuations. Uranus is, once it stations direct, it's going to finish up its course in Taurus. But I do, the astrology shows boom, 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 growth,
Yeah,
growth, growth, money,
I,
money, money.
that's what I say. I mean, that does it for both because
Yeah.
Canadians right now are getting starved out. The dollar is getting squeezed. The
Right.
taxes are so high. The bureaucracy is so deep right now, and
Yeah.
Canadians went from 42nd most indebted nation per capita at the beginning of COVID to the number one most indebted nation per capita on the planet right now today. That happened in 3 years.
Yeah. But, I don't know if you want to go down this rabbit hole, but why is the country borrowing money from rich families?
It's money. They're money laundering. Is what they're
Well,
doing.
yeah,
They're getting everything out. Yeah.
that's the point. I mean, I actually feel, if you want to be bold predictions, I question the INF and how long they will
Yeah.
last.
And if you even want to go deeper, remember Center for Disease
Yep.
Control. If people forget, that was a rebranding. It's actually Center for Data Collection.
Ah, yeah,
And
exactly.
and the
Yeah.
rebranding wasn't even that long ago. It's like not even 20 years ago, I don't think.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Well, here's the thing. Now that Pluto's left Capricorn, Pluto is the exposer. It's Scorpio, right? Gets you naked. Like careful girls, don't go home with a Scorpio. They get you naked. Like they have a way to just getting your clothes off. Pluto has a way of just peeling off and showing and revealing. So Pluto moved through Capricorn and revealed all of the business cheating, all of the law,
Yeah.
so and everyone has become aware. Now Pluto is at step 1 Aquarius, all right, as of this week, which means that Pluto is saying everyone on the planet must raise their self-love to a higher level. You got to take it to a higher level, and it's going to expose all the areas that you don't love yourself. What I'm leading to is the American Revolution ended when Pluto hit 4 degrees, Grandmaster Aquarius.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm feeling that, basically go back to the United States Revolution, taxation without representation. That was the INF. The Great Britain was taking advantage of us. They were taxing us. They're putting unfair laws on us, all this unfair stuff. Once Pluto said, no, we don't belong here anymore, there was radical change. So I am predicting radical change. And with people no longer spooked by their own shadow. You see, a lot of the reason why people don't speak up or say something is because they've got fears, past life memories of times where they were killed, quartered, burned at the stake, crucified, and so, right, and so they didn't, but now that we've started to heal that, and we've also healed our fear of world dictators, I feel like you're going to see some very explosive. The reason why 2025, and if I may just promote my Countdown 2025 webinar this Saturday, Garry.
Yeah.
I'm doing a webinar on Saturday. It's at senseiChristopher.com. And I just go through the whole year with you, like the whole year. But basically, this year is tense. It's incredibly tense. And I feel it's because human beings are no longer being held back by their fear. They've seen things that they cannot unsee, right? And then when Uranus goes into Gemini, it's going to be a flutter of information, truth and also misinformation, both. We're going to have to make those discernments ourselves.
That's why I always said it's a war on perception.
Oh, totally. Well, I mean, perception is reality.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's what we believe. Yeah. It's like we're going to be pushed into situations where we get forced to take a belief based upon not having all the evidence or believing evidence that's possibly corrupt. So people are gonna be taught, I think, this year to either feel into what's right or have pain as a result.
I tell you, I see more and more. I'll tell you, anyone I run into, anywhere, and just start talking to people because I'm that guy. I'll talk to you in the grocery line. I'll talk to you. I'm finding that they, even the ones who didn't want this president or whatever, everyone's suspicious. There is no diehard believers anymore of anything that I'm noticing. They're all like, yeah, some don't feel right about this. So I feel the collective consciousness is awake.
Yeah.
And really, I don't even know what our role is except to just hold the space.
That's what that's probably one of the biggest things for me is it's just about as we talked about last night. It's I'm already doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It was nice to have a confirmation of all the things that are happening around in my world and stuff like that. But holding space is literally just showing up and doing what's right in the moment.
Being the person you are, being the star you really are. That's what I say. It's your story. Be the star you really are. Who you are is what God is expecting and hoping for.
Right.
And just being who yourself. And I'll tell you, that's another part of me too. Authenticity is coming out like crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the astrology is of it, but I'm just at this place now where I'm not worried. I'm just going to be myself. I'm just not going to worry about it anymore. As I used to. And I look back and I'm like, boy, that was silly, all that worry.
Yeah, I mean,
but you couldn't have told me that then.
I mean, that it's a journey. If people are going through it, I get this when we work with people all the time because it's like when I record people, it's like if I'm helping you, I'm recording it. I don't want to be. I'm like, sorry.
Right.
I mean, because I went through that window of authenticity back in 2020, and I realized, and it was an unwinding. I had to start telling people about who I was and as a public figure, what they didn't know. And I did it bit by bit by bit, until I got confident with it. But it's been a journey, and the energy is more conducive to be authentic right now because people are also willing, they have a known sense of what really is and what's not right now. So if you say something that's bullshit, they kind of feel it. And whether they listen to it or not is a different thing. But I find that that's where people are at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel people are, and it's interesting. I think you'll see the biggest shift. Right now with Mars retrograde, I have to say Mars just went into Cancer. So let's talk about that for just a moment.
Yeah.
A lot of what blinds us is our emotion, right? We get overwhelmed with emotion, and we don't have anything that teaches us about emotion. Did your kindergarten teacher teach you how to calm yourself down? Did your gym coach tell you how to run to get out stress? No, they just made you run. They didn't tell you it did anything for your body. We have no emotional coping skills, right? And so Mars now moving into Cancer is giving you the opportunity to reprogram that gut, twitch reaction to certain feelings. And so what I want to say to everyone watching is, when that old emotion comes back, respond differently.
Right.
There is no right or wrong. The only wrong would be the same old way.
Right.
But when you respond differently to those feelings, you then veer the ship into a new direction, and you allow yourself to see past that emotion, right? And we're going to get better at emotion throughout the ages, but part of, I think, of finding our truth in this month is really responding to our feelings differently, which then gives us the clarity to make the decisions in Capricorn.
Right. So, we've got up to Saturday. Sunday is going to be interesting, and Monday too when we talk again. And I'm
22
going to
on
be
Sunday.
I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back for a while for Mondays. Because I've organized my travel to make sure because this time is really I feel like this conversation that we have right now is what is helping people stabilize,
Yes.
and it's really important. So I'm going to show up as much as I can. I'm reworking my schedule.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's terrific. I'm glad. I think everything is destined too. Sometimes the best way to know the value of someone is for them to be gone. I mean, so I'm sure the audience missed you, and certainly missed our rapport. But that's great. I think it's really important. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be such an interesting year, especially as things start to heat up in April.
Right.
That last 9 in the 9 year, that's what really launches stuff into a new direction.
Ironically, as you're saying with the company Human Garage's chart, it's really June, July, and August when everything comes together, and that's because we're also coming through this rebirth ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I feel, tomorrow's leaders, which, you and I feel we are, right, really get slingshot into position over the summer. And that position may be somewhat surprising because, tell God your plans and to laugh, that whole thing. The truth of the matter is we're co-creators with the universe. So although we have certain intentions, and we have certain where we want to go, up until now, I had a realization. I don't know if I told you yesterday, but I've always been I've been perfect with my predictions of my own life up until now. Everything has happened exactly as I thought it would happen. Sure, there's surprises, but the reason why it was all perfect was because this was the pre-production, right? This is the recreation of all the karma and working through the karma. Very, very predictable because it's happened many times. Come June, July, we're out of predictable.
Yeah.
We're out of predictable. It is who knew the Chinese would respond that way? Who knew? And people are making choices in the moment, right? So this is one of the reasons why it's really important right now to, with the Earth in Cancer, really start to manifest a better way of feeling about yourself. Keep your feelings neutral. Find things like Human Garage to keep you emotionally tuned, because when the shift hits the fan and things are chaotic, you're only going to be able to feel your way through it, like with a blindfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that definitely, I definitely feel that there's no felt sense. Normally in my whole life, I've had this sense of where things would go. I just have I just have a sense that the end is where I want it to be,
Yeah.
or where the end is going. But the direction to there, I have no sense of right now.
Oh, interesting. Direction.
Well,
I always just
kind
have
of like kind of like there's no felt sense to guide me anymore.
Ah,
Where I have to, and I'm being asked to trust.
right.
Like, yeah,
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I think you're ahead of the curve. So what you're describing, I'm predicting in Cancer this year.
right.
So, where people it's just like you were dropped off in the middle of a jungle somewhere and you got to find your way out. Like, what are you gonna do? You know, you have to feel your way out. You have to sense and use your sensory perception. Thank goddess with Saturn at 14. I mean, Saturn's at 14 Pisces right now. And once it gets into 15, we are over the hard karma.
So
We're
Saturn to
done.
14 Pisces for how long?
I don't have that date in front of me. I don't have the date in front of me, but
Is that like
um,
weeks or days or months? Is it
weeks. Couple,
okay?
no,
Yeah,
like
because
another week, another 10 days
because
maybe.
that I mean that affects Cynthia there.
Oh
It's
yeah, it's right on
like
top of her. Yeah, we
yeah,
talked
right.
about
It's
that.
her karma is coming raining down on her right now.
Well, no, Saturn. What's cool about Saturn? Saturn is Capricorn.
Yeah,
So when you have a problem and before Saturn hits it, you're like, you just you don't have the discipline, you don't have the posture to handle it. But when Saturn comes into that area, you just suddenly sit right up and you suddenly just have this authority. It really is one of the most powerful planets that you can feel hit you.
yeah.
Now, the only time it's a bad hit is when you were completely being irresponsible. So, your Saturn return at 2930, when Saturn comes back to the place that it was when you were born, some people say it was easy, some people say it was hard. Me, piece of cake. Why? I've always been responsible. So for me, Saturn telling me to be responsible, like, I know, that's who I am. But someone who's been irresponsible, Saturn hits, boom, it's an exposure of, you know, your laziness, your inability to make decisions, it just all of a sudden gets exposed. But Saturn gets the job done.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturn. Yeah, when my 30 was an acceleration into new business,
Me too.
new opportunities. Yeah,
Me too. I went from television into Soul Garden, my first brand.
right.
So it was just like, yeah, first ready to launch. And second Saturn return, which is age 60, is when you are finally an adult, according to God consciousness. So according to astrology, you're not an adult till 60 because they're
I
supposed to live to 120.
feel like a kid, act like a kid, starting to look like a kid again.
Yes, you are. Yeah. And you're not kidding.
Yeah. So okay, so Sunday, Monday.
So Sunday is step 22. So
Interdimensional.
Sunday is the reveal. Okay, Sunday's the reveal. And the reveal of what your decisions will lead up to. My team and I we have our Monday morning meetings, which is great that we have this show on the same day because I'm just fresh with the knowledge. And there's several times this year with major blind corners.
Right.
Okay. And they're blind corners because if you didn't do the work, you're not going to see backstage.
Right.
They're literally little stop gates, step 19, step 20, that's a stop gate. A lot of people just can't get up the hill, and they just stay in the 19s where they just keep spinning their wheels and they spin their wheels in the teens and they spin their wheels in the teens. They never glide in the 20s, right? So step 22, is going to choose where things belong. Because that's what 22 is. Feel, belong. And where you belong in your future. It will likely be a reveal. And from what we can tell in our team, it's a reveal that you may not have expected. May not have expected.
It's interesting. I'm of course I'm filming with Justin Franson, who's my Gemini counterpart, Grandmaster on that day.
Nice. Oh, nice. 29-degree, huh?
No, he's not a 29, but he's a Grandmaster Gemini.
Okay.
So he's yeah,
I assumed
he's
I thought you're opposite. Okay.
23 degrees.
23? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 23, 14, or 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because, like I've been feeling this, I could feel actually coming up before New Year's, like at the full moon, like something really shifted for me. And to the
Me
point
too.
where I'm walking around my world and it felt so different
Me too.
that, yeah, that I had to have a moment. I'm like, is it me or did everybody else change?
I had the same thing. I woke up on New Year's Day and I'm like, this feels like a new world. not a new
Yeah.
year. I mean, New Year's never feels new to me.
No.
It's like, it's just a, sloppy weekend. But this year when I walked outside on New Year's Day, I didn't recognize the feeling of the earth.
Oh, you mean
Um,
New Year's? You don't mean 0 degree Aries, the real New Year's. You just mean
I mean
the fake
yeah,
one,
exactly.
the
The
fake one.
Illuminati, Catholic Church decided,
Hey,
New Year.
you know what calendar where it comes from, right? It comes from
No,
the word calends, which
no
is
kidding.
a tax collection. So
Oh,
calendar
that it was
is a
the
schedule
method
for
to
tax
this is how we count when you have taxes
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Oh my God.
That's it's a schedule for tax collection. That's
And of
calendar.
course, there was Julius Caesar who made July and Augustus Caesar who made August, and they just decided to, turn it into a 12-month when it was a 10-month. So yeah, people have been screwing with space time for a long time. Calendar lines is Capricorn, where you draw the
You know
line.
what? If Julius Caesar was down there in Orange County, it would have been better because then it would have been Orange Julius.
Ah, that's funny. Orange Julius, that's like an '80s joke. I wonder how many people got that joke. I always thought Orange Julius must be some money laundering organization because I never saw many people buy Orange Julius's, and I know the rent in those malls is pretty
I think
expensive. You know?
I think it's because it came through the 70s,
Oh
and by
yeah.
that time they were on the way out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So so the so this, I mean, between now and the 19th, which is next 2 weeks, or not
It's
this
a week
weekend coming.
from this Sunday. So
Yeah.
this Sunday, a week from this Sunday.
So
No, that's a
for
hell
the
of a day.
next Yeah, for the next 2 weeks, basically, what is the uh, action plan for people? Because I mean, people are going to be pushed to some sort of crazy limit coming up to there, and it just happens to be the inauguration day.
You know, people are. I don't know where you are today in the world, but here in the United States, and I'm in liberal California right now.
I'm going to be there next. I'm going to be there during that time.
Um, People are remarkably calm. I mean, that I've
Yeah,
been around, like people who were not happy with the choice of the president. They voted for Harris, but the fear's gone. The fear's gone, and I
yeah,
wonder if it's because they've already seen what Once you've already seen it one time, maybe it's not so scary a second. Um, so I wonder, if energetically now the real energy of that inauguration to me is the sun crossing Pluto.
yeah,
Okay. Because when the sun crosses Pluto, and I'm not sure what degree Pluto will be at that time, I'll have to look it up and see. I can look it up here looking down at my notes. But that, when the sun crosses Pluto, the sun is life and Pluto is death.
yeah,
So sun crossing Pluto is a reboot.
yeah.
It's a reboot. So I feel like I don't know if it'll be politically driven. And I feel like the reason why we are still thinking things will be politically driven, there's going to be politics and whatnot, um, but the truth of the matter is that's still the Capricorn stuff. You know what I mean? We're now in Aquarius, so the stuff that's going to spook us now are drones hovering over New Jersey.
Right.
Like stuff is like that don't belong there.
Yeah,
Like but again, the sun crosses Pluto in early degrees, and that conjunction is really about where you belong with yourself. So the rebirth and death. I mean, the sun is the birth, Pluto is death. The sun is step one, Pluto is step zero, and the sun and Pluto make 10, which is Earth. Isn't
yeah,
that crazy?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but that rebirth is really going to be in our inner self. And let me see if I can find it here. I'll find it right here, just so I have it. It's at 1 degree. Oh God. Okay, that makes sense. So that means that there's a rebirth of self-love that happens on the 21st, and that rebirth might be because inauguration. Like I'm gonna let myself out of. People might go through
Is a
their own attack.
21st 29 degree or 0 degree?
My records show the 20th is the 0 degree Aquarius.
Okay, so it's 1 degree. Okay.
So yeah, so the 21st is 1 degree. That's when the sun conjoins Pluto at 1 degree.
Yeah.
And Mercury will square Chiron. Mercury squaring Chiron means now Chiron's at 19. It's been at 19 for since 1950, it seems like. Our staff was joking about it. 19. Remember, I just told you 19 this Thursday,
Yeah.
the tough degree. Chiron has been at 19 Aries. Like, I can't tell you how long. And by the way, 19 Aries was where the solar eclipse was last April before Unite the Light.
Right.
19, right?
Yeah.
So, but what's interesting is on the same day the sun conjuncts Pluto, our minds, Mercury, reconcile with that 19 healing. And that 19 healing is basically like, can I get to the master? Can I get to the pros? Can I get to where I want to go? That question. And the only reason we're having the question is because every lifetime we tried, we
Right.
failed. Right. Um, so it's a legitimate question for a soul. But on that day, which is after the inauguration, right, suddenly there's a reboot in self-love. Your self-love programming is rebooted, and your mind reconciles differently with things could go wrong.
You know, that's gonna be a very interesting thing because that happens right at the election. People are gonna, I would assume that would make people go, okay, everything's gonna work out, and then you have a new president.
Right. Right. A new president. Right. Well, I think what happens looking at the astrology is it's one of those things where, I just had a show about Atlantis last week on Astromingle.
Yeah.
And, if Atlantis is going to, if your island is sinking into the ocean, right? At some point, it's just like every man for himself, right? Like, and the astrology seems to be showing that. It's like, it really doesn't matter what's happening in the world. You got to take care of yourself. That's what the Sun conjunct Pluto step one is. You got to love yourself. So I think we're being talked back into our power, in essence. It looks like that through the year, as we move through the year, um, it's all about our own personal strength. Because when Saturn goes into Aries and Neptune goes into Aries, it's going to light that basic primal fire of survival.
Right.
That those early degrees of Aries are survival.
Right.
And I'll just go ahead and give away one of my little secrets from the webinar. This year, we will go from what I call the me-go to the we-go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Which,
the instead of black and white, it's gray. It's the age of Aquarius coming in.
it's the ego that considers the other.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
we-go. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like we have a couple things going on. We have a 28-day reset to get people ready that starts on the 15th. If you've already done it, if you haven't, get in the app right now. And then also you have your yearly forecast, which I recommend that people go and sign up for right now. How can they do that? Sensei Christopher.
SenseiChristopher.com. It's about 2.5 hours. It's recorded. I'm going to give you a roadmap for all 12 signs of, do not turn at Albuquerque, do this on this day. I just give very practical goals through the year for all 12 signs on what they want to focus on. And you have that recording for the whole year.
And we also, if you haven't checked it out yet, everybody go check out our webpage. We've changed our model. We've modified our model so that we can move forward. Supplements have no longer been the way for us to fund ourselves. So we've gone on pay what you can. We have our 10 programs and people are coming into the app and contributing and it's changing our life. Like overnight, we did this, we put this out a couple of weeks ago and it's starting to change. It's giving us back the power because we've been working in this deficit since the tour. We spent $3 million in going out to help people since May, since Unite the Light.
That's amazing. I was thinking about that after our conversation yesterday. It's like tipping.
Yeah.
It's like tipping. It's like, I've been a waiter, right? Some people don't tip very much, but that's rare. When people tip, they usually tip from whatever they feel is the out of gratitude.
Yeah.
And so it's actually the real economy.
It is. And that's what we want to show people, that there is a real economy behind this. We put all this content for free, but the intention wasn't free. The intention was people support each other. And part of it is our cost structure. We went from, costing tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands in the last year in order to support the growth. And we are looking for other mechanisms to do it. So we're a pay as you can model. And if you haven't done it yet, go to our website and go enroll, just so you can see where we're going and where we're heading. And we're now expanding into, like, when I went to London, I mean, dude, I was shocked. It was like, we had a facility just for a pop up, and there was like only 150 people could go in there, and there's 187 squeezed in, and there was like hundreds trying to get in, and I didn't even realize that there's a market where we haven't given any attention to, and they've had people teaching classes there every day for 2 years, and so we want to expand into all these other areas of the world. And we also want to bring the step system with us because, as we touch people individually, they ask, oh, how do you know so much? Like, how do you know what to say to me? And I'm like, well, really quickly, I can feel it. But the language it gives me is the step system that Chris created because I can immediately translate that into something that you resonate with.
Yes. Thank you, brother. It was trusted to me. I'll tell you this, Gary. I don't know if I told you this in our we have a new talent on Serious Joy, Krista Marie Miller. She channels Mary Magdalene. Okay. And if you know, Mary Magdalene is Jesus's twin flame. So, I don't expect anyone to believe. You got to come listen for yourself, let your own BS detector do. But the thing is Mary is teaching the steps.
Yeah.
Through channeling. It's a universal thing. And what I've come to realize was, I was trusted with this knowledge, and I'm going to give credit to creator, like it's the way the consciousness is based on, but it's phenomenal. It's powerful. And we're finding links between the step system and human design. We're finding links between the step system and numerology, obviously. And from what we understand, the step system is the foundation of all these different directions of modalities.
It's a foundation between the step system is the foundation of the metrics or the conduit between fascial maneuvers and the body.
Yeah. Well, it's all by the numbers, I guess so. Math is the universal language of the universe. So it's interesting. It's an interesting moment, my friend.
Yes, it is. And also too, you've got some new stuff coming up too, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Serious Joy is blazing ahead. So if you guys want help day-to-day coaching, spiritual coaching, you can sign up for $3.99. We have, Krista Marie Miller. We have Mary Magdalene lecturing 3 days a week on the site. We're bringing on some other talent as well. We're trying to give more of a well-rounded plate to what we're doing. And then I myself am going through an image makeover. You will not see me in this image here by summer. I'm going to be different. And I'll just say we have tickets to Unite the Light 2 coming out this month, where it's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, May 17th and 18th.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to be country. I'm excited.
It's funny. I'm like, wow, I can't even think of an event that far. You guys are doing it.
I'm thinking like, didn't we just do this? Like
Yeah.
it's right here on our shoulder again, but we're very excited about it. It was a great time. So if people feel that calling or that buzz, come see us. It's great to be around people who are in the light. It just feels amazing.
So really quickly, let's 1 word or 2 words for every day this week. Today's Monday. Let's go through all the way through to Sunday.
Okay, so I'm actually going to turn my page because I'm looking at the inauguration here still. Today is step 16, that's 7. Today is when you listen to your intuition, listen to your guidance, listen to the warnings. Tomorrow on Tuesday, make the decision. It may be something simple. It may be something like financing a car. It may be something like going to another school, but it's a precedent you're setting. And the precedent is your heart and your soul. 1-7, your heart and your soul are making this choice, not politics, not money, none of these other things. Once you make that decision on Tuesday, on Wednesday, do something about it. In Capricorn, you can't just do a vision board. You got to sign a contract. You got to spend some money. You got to take some risk. So on Wednesday, take some risk. Show the universe you're so serious, you're going to start without the universe right there for you. Thursday is what have I done? I hope I didn't make a mistake. I got to just keep going. 40 days in the desert. I love myself. I can do this. So Thursday and Friday, you're sort of coaching yourself to the promised land, which is Saturday, step 21, when it starts to get fun. On Saturday, you will see the light of what your work has brought you to. And then on Sunday, God Universe is going to do a reveal and show you something backstage you never saw if you did the work.
It's going to be a fun week. I look forward to joining you. I'm going to be in California, joining you from California next Monday.
How cool. All right. Yeah, you have the mountains on your side, I'll mine on my side.
I'll be on the other side.
We'll be back to back.
Yeah.
Like, what's up? Yeah. All right, brother. Fly safe. Everyone, much love and light. SeriousStory.com. Thank you.
Garry, Chris, take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye. If you haven't seen it yet, please go to our site, check out the new site, to move into the app. If you feel like contributing and helping out, we are graciously accepting contributions for all the programs that we've run over time. Please go check it out. When you go in, just go to our website and it says enroll. Also, if you're in California, we are doing a hands-on workshop on the 18th. We have just started marketing it. There's going to be a limited capacity. So if you want to, or you're in the area, you come down. I'm going to be teaching it myself. That hands-on workshop is on the 18th. And this week coming up, one of the things that I want you to focus on is this week, focus on coming back into your heart center. Focus on it's not a big deal. Focus on what your heart wants. This is the week to do it for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing whoever is going to show up in California. And there might be a pop-up class. I don't know. But that'll probably be the week after the 19th because we're going to stay a couple extra days. So we will see you in California if we see you in California. Otherwise, we will see you on the air here next Monday. And please go check it out. Also, follow us at 2.0, Human Garage 2.0. And follow my personal account if you're not following it. We're diversifying all of our traffic because of censorship. We do have our numbers back right now, but we're not counting on that. We're diversifying. Thank you all. Take care. Have a great week.